Hey cat lovers! Have you heard of Mission Meow yet? Sally Williams, the founder of Mission Meow, is here with us today to talk about her great nonprofit organization and how Mission Meow is helping to create meaningful change for cats in need. Stay tuned for an inspiring interview that you won't want to miss. So today at the CatCrazy channel, we are joined with Sally Williams from Mission Meow. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sally.
Thank you for having me as a guest. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. So I am eager to learn more about Mission Meow. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
So Mission Meow, our mission is basically to make dreams come true for small feline-centric nonprofits. And we do this, it's kind of a unique approach because the foundation of our organization are businesses who sign on to be annual donors. So we, in a month when we have a campaign, right now we're going quarterly. As we accrue businesses, we will add more months. So right now we're doing quarterly giving. So the businesses that gave in October are again giving in January. And so they agree to either a set amount, or they'll do a fundraiser that month, or they will give us a percentage of sales. They know their businesses better, so we don't tell them how to donate. But that guarantees us a foundation of income for the grants. And then of course we love our donors and we have such incredible supporters. And then we have our merchandise that we sell. So all of that comes together, and then we subtract our tiny little nut that we have to pay for board insurance and MailChimp and all those things. And then we give a large grant. So we launched in October, and we were able to give Catsbury Park in Asbury Park, New Jersey, a grant for $10,000 for expansion.
Fantastic. That's fantastic.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The basic thought is they're small organizations that are paying their rent, they're paying their bills, they're doing everything right, but there's something that they want to do or something they want to purchase that's difficult. Because I get it. I mean, I ran a nonprofit before Mission Meow for 7 years. I know what fundraising is like. I know the challenges that have come with, having a pandemic and lockdowns and economy. Things are tight. So it's hard. And these nonprofits are amazing. I mean, they work so hard. I volunteer. I know what it's like for TNR groups, rescues, and shelters. So for us to be able to say, we can make this dream come true for you, that's the best thing ever. So we actually are going to be announcing. So by the time this airs, you will know who our next nonprofit is, because in the month of January, that's when we'll be doing our second fundraising. So I'm so excited because I know.
That's fantastic. I love it. I love it. So you said that you have done fundraising before. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because people might know.
Yeah. So I was the founder and director of an organization called the Brody Fund for 7 years. And it started when my Brody, my beautiful cat, was diagnosed with cancer. And he was going to the hospital 5 days a week for 4 weeks. And in conversations with the oncologist, I knew how much it was costing us. And it was a lot of money. And it's not something unfortunately, at that time, I did not have pet insurance. Now we do. So I said, what happens if you can't afford this? And it's basically palliative care. You can't afford treatment. So I was like, no, not okay. And so I reached out to some people and founded a nonprofit called the Brody Fund. So for 7 years, I was fundraising for that nonprofit. We were a national organization that worked with specific hospitals across the country. And so that meant, reaching out and finding individual donors, building that donor base, having events, grant applications, all of that stuff. And so for me, what I took away from the Brody Fund was there has to be a better way to fundraise, right? Like it's a lot of work, and thank goodness people are doing it, right? There's amazing organizations out there that I support. But I thought, how can I do this in a way that maybe makes it a little bit easier? And that's when I came up with the business crowdfunding, because really nonprofits get money through individual donors, through grants, through businesses and events. The individual donors, you need them. It's so important, but it's a lot of work too, especially starting when you're just starting out, right? It's a lot of work. Grants, there's fewer grants out there now than there used to be, and everybody needs them. So there's so much competition to get these grants. Events, I love a good event. It's really fun, but you have to put money out. And the outcomes are unpredictable, right? I mean, some of these events that I think are going to be amazing, and other things that we do, like the giving tree that we're doing right now, who knew that it was going to turn out to be something so big?
Tell me
so yeah. Okay, so our giving tree, and this will be, I don't know, I don't know when this airs, will people see this before the end of the month? They can give. So basically the giving tree came about with the Brody Fund. It was lockdown, and we're like, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to have an event? So the event became an event in my living room. So I have this beautiful tree, and I bought foil stars on Amazon, and it's a $10 donation per star, or they can give whatever they want. We had people who give $50, $100 per star, but all you have to do is donate $10 and then tell me what you want written on the star, the pet, the person, the organization. And then I make a video every single night, and you get to watch me read the name and hang it on the tree. So I think it feels more personal, especially when you're donating in memory of. So now your pet, your cat, your dog, whatever, who has passed away, you get to see me hold the star up with the name on it and then hang it on the tree. Aww. So the first year with the Brody Fund, we raised $5,000 with a tree in my living room. And then the second year we raised $7,000, and now we're starting again this year, and we are only just 5 days in, and we've already raised, this is not including today, $2,150 in 5 days.
Wow.
So it's being creative and thinking outside the box, right? That's really what it is.
Yeah.
And
fantastic. So back to Mission Meow real quick. Somebody who needs money they want to build a catio, they need a new for their TNR or whatever. This is what the grant is really for. It's not to pay the bills, the general bills. Yeah, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we want our organizations to have a strong foundation. They don't have to be big, but they just have to understand their budget and be able to do the things they need to do, because the worst thing that we could imagine would be to give a grant and then have an organization close. And it happens. I mean, it's no fault of their own. There's so many good organizations out there that just don't make it for whatever reasons. And I mean, it breaks my heart to think about that. But so that's why it's really important that we give a grant to one who's already got all that stuff wired. We can pay our rent, we're feeding, we're spaying, neutering, we're doing all the things, but maybe we're so small that we just don't have the bandwidth to have that kind of a capital campaign to get that big thing. Right. So it's very exciting for us to be able to say, okay, well, we can make that possible for you. I mean, to be able to pay for Catsbury Park's expansion, for me, an organization that I love, the work they do is amazing, because not only do they do adoptions and they have a huge foster program, but they do TNR in their community too. So they kind of are doing everything, and they downsized during the pandemic. They left their cafe and adoption space and went to a much smaller space, which they quickly realized that they just outgrew like that. And lucky for them, the building had space that was becoming available. So guess what? Now they can increase the size of the adoption room. They can increase the size of the intake room, which is really important, because if you don't have the ability to isolate, that can be a problem, which they had, because they had ringworm at one point because isolation was tricky. They can get rid of their off-site storage space and have storage space now. So many things. And that's the kind of stuff like you talked about. I and my brain cannot wait for the person that says, I want our organization to build a catio, because the nonprofits, so they apply. The application, when we announce it, goes up on the website, right? So it's up there now. And they agree, they make an agreement with us that they will, this is what the money's earmarked for. They share receipts along the way, or if it's a one-time purchase, the receipt for it. But the most important thing is that they agree to take pictures. So in my head, I'm like, oh my God, the catio. Can you imagine the volunteers standing outside while one inside lifts up the door and the cats come out for the first time? Like, that's an image I'm super excited to share. Or, The first time we have a lot of money and we're able to give a TNR group a van. It doesn't have to be a new van, just a good van that runs. And now it just makes things easier when you go out to a site that has, multiple cats to be TNR'd. Now, instead of all the volunteers with their own cars, you can stack up, load them one trip to the spay neuter clinic, right? So could you imagine the day they get the keys and I see that picture of all these volunteers standing, like that's what keeps you going,
Right.
knowing this can be such a game changer for an organization, because not only that, think of it, how many people are going to see that? So maybe
Right.
now we get them new donors as well.
Right. This is
And
fantastic. So just,
huge shout out to our business partners. Huge shout out to them. They are the rock, the foundation. People can go to our website, see all of our business partners, because we love them so much.
that's fantastic. So just quickly for our viewers here who have not heard about TNR, it means trap, neuter, return, meaning
Thank you.
the feral cats get trapped, then they get neutered, spayed, and then they get returned into the neighborhood, because that's what you have to do. And that's the really humane thing to do with the cats. You want to leave
It's honestly,
the neighborhood. Yes. Go ahead.
it's the number one concern, I would say, in the cat community, is getting the word out that TNR works and that this is something that all communities should adopt, because without TNR, we have these, unspayed, unneutered cats out there just overpopulating. And not only is it causing a problem for all these cats that are outside, that it's not an easy life, right?
Right.
But then they will end up trapped and, put in a shelter. Now we're overpopulating the shelter. And so that's a problem too, because they don't belong in a shelter. They're feral, and we're taking up space that needs to be there for surrendered cats.
That's right. And in the shelter, if it's a real feral cat, they don't want to be adopted. They don't want to be in a house. They want to be outside. They are okay. So, but we do want them to be taken care of. And
Yes.
the other thing is trap, neuter, return works so fine, because if you just remove them from the neighborhood, then more cats will move in. Exactly.
Yes, the
So
vacuum effect.
that's why trap, neuter, return is the best way. So don't poison the cats, please. Okay, so that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
You trap, neuter, return, and that's a good one. So back to Mission Meow. You want to attract businesses. When
Yes.
I'm a business, tell me, why should I do this?
Okay, yes. So,
How and how?
I did a little research ahead of time and found out on average how much businesses are contributing to small nonprofits in a month. So anywhere from $50 to $500, and depending upon the time of year, and maybe some months nonprofits don't get anything. So businesses are generally giving that much. And I want to say up front, it all matters. It all makes a difference. But if you join Mission Meow, you turn your $50 in October into $10,000. So now you're able to be a part of a group coming together that's really giving big, and you know exactly where your money is going. We've vetted the nonprofit for you. We know what they need. And now you're going to be able to follow your money and see the images of where your money went, which I think is really valuable. And so small businesses now aren't feeling like, well, I can only give, a small amount. Well, your small amount plus somebody else's plus somebody else's. And some of the larger companies can also afford to give a little bit more. All coming together, we can make such an impact. And in return, we list them on our website so people know, because for me, I know if a business is philanthropic, I want to shop them. I love the fact that I know that they're giving back. We also created a business partners perks package. So during the month of a campaign, we will highlight them through our newsletter, via emails, a set number of social media mentions. Plus I randomly share their posts so everybody can see who they are. We'll highlight them like with the Small Business Saturday, things like that. We really want, and that's why the word partnership is so important. It's a relationship that we've built. It's not, oh, thank you for your money, we're just going to donate it. No, this is a relationship that we want to cultivate. We have a Facebook page for all of our business partners because they network each other. They come up with ideas that they share. That was something I didn't think about initially, was that they would then start talking with one another. We're all consumers, so we're all shopping each other. I have behaviorists that are learning about new toys. I have wholesalers connecting with retailers. So it's been it's been amazing. And we also have bloggers. So any of the businesses who want a blog written about them, we connect them with our bloggers, and then we can share a story about a business. And it can be just about a particular product. It can be how they started, or just any interesting story. And we've had so many. I mean, because we have, yes, we have cat products, but we also have an eyewear company that donates 100% of their profits to organizations. We have behaviorists. I mean, so it's a lot of different types of businesses. And
you have cat products.
Yes. Yes. And but I want people to know, if you're watching this and you think, oh, I want to support Mission Meow, you could run a bookstore. You could have a cafe. You could be a dry cleaners. You could be a lawyer, anything. If you love animals and you want to support us, you can sign on. And I want to say this because I think this is really important, that small businesses don't have to be concerned. You can afford this. We work with you. You know your budget better, so we work with that. And I also want big businesses to know that, yes, you can afford to donate more, but we don't have to go in with a big ask. If I could get Chewy, I'm not going to say, Chewy, will you give us $10,000? We don't need $10,000, because all together is how we work. So I want small businesses to know that they can be a part of this, and big business not to be afraid that it's going to be the big ask, or don't think that there's but maybe you're seeing less value because it's not a huge organization. But what you're doing, the change you're making, the impact that you are having for a small organization, I can't tell you, because I informed the next nonprofit and they're speechless. I mean, before I launched, I reached out to a bunch of nonprofit directors and I asked, what would you do if Mission Meow could give you a check for $10,000? And the three answers were cry, pass out, and throw up, because they get that kind of money, right? So if you are one of the bigger organizations that we love, that does great work, like Best Friends or North Shore Animal League, right? They get big donations. They do. These small organizations don't get them because they don't maybe have the best website, or maybe they're not social media savvy, or they just don't have the time for all that because they are too busy doing what they're doing, because they're all unpaid. They're volunteers who all have other jobs. And so we want to make sure that they can still get that big donation and have a dream made.
Okay,
that's the best job in the world.
I know, I love that. So real quick, tell me, I'm a business, I want to get in contact with you. What do I do? I go
you just have to Mission. Yeah, we make it very easy. Go to missionmeow.org and click on business partnerships. Done. There's a form and it just gets sent over. Or if you just want to tippy tap, Sally@missionmeow.org. Shoot me an email. But it's right there on the website. Awesome. And then we just set up a time to have a chat. It's very simple, because I found that people are like, oh, just send me an email. The passion doesn't come through in the email. I can get you the information, but you and I talking right now, it's different, right? There's that connection. And I think it's very important for me to get the point across of the joy of giving. There is so much joy in this giving. I mean, that I get to make these phone calls and tell these people that I get to, there's not enough words. When that first check that I gave Catsbury Park, we were all crying, because it makes, like I said, these are organizations that are largely volunteer. They don't have the money to have paid staff. They are working so hard, and, a lot of these ones are they're doing everything right, but they just don't get that big check. And I just want to keep doing that, and I hope that, in my head, I have that, little 6-month plan, 1-year plan, 2-year plan. I hope that not only are we able to give a grant every month, that we reach a point that we have enough business partners that we're giving 2 in a month. There's so much potential for this, because there's so many businesses out there that don't know about us yet. They're huge animal lovers. It's so easy to join. The business partners that we have are so amazing. We get new ideas from them all the time on, what about, that's how the Facebook page came out. Oh, we want to network with each other. Okay, let's make that happen.
Yes.
Right? So we want more business partners. That's how we're going to grow. And I want to, I don't know when it will be. Maybe it'll be 3 years from now. We'll be twice a month. I don't really know, but I just know it's going to happen. It's on my vision.
I will follow you. So, and hey, maybe in 2 years we talk again, and then the situation is completely different. So, you have one more thing you want to tell my viewers, and yeah, let me know. Like one more thing you want to say.
Oh my God, one more thing. I would just say, oh gosh, go to missionmeow.org and learn more about us and take a look at the amazing people. I pinch myself when I think of the people that are involved that are on my board.
Yes.
I mean, it's just, this was something that it was very hard to say goodbye to the Brody Fund, but I just couldn't sustain living in the pet cancer world anymore.
Right.
And I took a little time off and I realized how much I missed the nonprofit world and how much I missed supporting a community that I love, right? And it was an idea in my brain one day, and like 4 months later, we launched a nonprofit. Still blows my mind how quickly we did that. But there's so much joy in this, and I overuse that word, but it really is. There's just so much. The people that are involved, the giving that's involved, the organizations, it's just a full circle of joy.
Fantastic.
So please just go to the website and learn more about us, because I think when people do, you're like, wow, this is really special. There's nobody else out there doing this.
Right. Yeah, I will put a link below for everybody to know of missionmeow.org. I'll put a link below the video and also in the video somehow. And yeah, I wish you much success. I said I will follow you. I'm going to be there. And Mission Meow will be from now on in every one of my videos. Okay, so everybody can check that out. Sally, thank you so much for your time. Again, much success. Okay, and we'll be in touch. Okay.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for having me as a guest. I before we go, I have to know, who is that?
Who's
this little guy?
That is Zeus. Zeus is our only boy. Come here, Susie.
Beautiful, beautiful. Your only boy?
That's the only boy. We have 4 girls and 1 boy.
So I have 4 boys. So fun. I'm the only girl.
You're the only girl. Okay. That's all for today, my wonderful cat crazy crowd. Thanks for hanging out with my cats and me today. Please subscribe and like and comment and share. And if you want to help out our channel, then become a member of Patreon or pick up some amazing cat crazy merchandise like these shoes here on my website. Until next time, stay cat crazy and don't forget, cats rule and so do you.